Hey everyone.
In this video, we will show how we plant our potatoes in containers. We grew potatoes in containers as well as raised beds last year, but harvesting was much more easier and fun with container potatoes. So this year, we have decided to grow all of our potatoes in containers. If you have never grown potatoes before, we would recommend you try it. It is one of the easiest crop to grow. While you can definitely buy potatoes cheaper at a store, you won't be able to buy the fun and flavor it brings when grown in your garden. Let us show you our seed potatoes haul and the varieties we are growing first. All of the varieties that we are growing are Determinate potatoes, which means they do not need hilling up. This makes them perfect for containers. For early season variety, we have Purple Majesty potato and Red Norland potatoes. Last year, the Purple Majesty variety produced few big tubers and several small tubers for us. It was an average producer as compared to Red Norland. Red Norland was prolific, which is why we love it. It produced so well for us. For mid-season variety, we have Yukon Gold here. We tried to grow it last year in clay soil, but heavy rain in spring decimated our seed potatoes. So this will hopefully be our first year of getting some harvest from these. For mid to late season variety, which is also supposed to store well, we have Kennebec potatoes. These were delicious last year and very prolific producers too. This potato had the taste where we could say homegrown tastes so much better than store-bought. We picked these seed potatoes from our local community garden shop. We have 2.5 pounds of each type. We won't show these just yet because we want to chit them first. Let us take a look at that process. Chitting is the simple process of allowing seed potatoes to grow some sprouts on them. All we do is to keep these seed potatoes in a warm place with light, such as over the top of our kitchen cabinets. We brought these potatoes on 1st March, and today, when we are taking this video, it is 7th of March. These potatoes are already making sprouts. We will start planting these towards the end of the March. For now, we are using these home-saved seeds which had of winter to chit and make sprouts. Now let us look at our plan to plant these potatoes and our soil recipe for growing potatoes. We plan to start 3 containers each weekend. Each container will contain an early variety, a mid-season variety, and a late-season variety. All of these varieties will mature at different times and will give us regular harvest. Here is an example from last year where we were able to harvest potatoes almost every 7 to 10 days using this method. We have a video coming up soon where we will discuss our succession planting plan for potatoes and few other cool crops. So don't forget to subscribe to watch that video. Now let us look at the soil mix recipe we are using this year. We have these containers pre-filled with compost. Let us get this compost out in this large container where we can prepare our soil mix. Since these containers have been sitting outside all winter, they are frozen in the middle. We will try to scrape off as much compost as we can. We have some additional dry compost. We are going to add this to this wet compost. This compost is not very fine, so it should be able to drain pretty well. But to be on safer side, we are going to mix some play sand into it. Our container size is 5 gallons. And we are mixing approximately 1.5 cups of sand to it. Perlite is another alternative to sand and we used it last year, but sand is cheaper, so this year we are using sand. Let us mix this up before we mix other ingredients. Potatoes like acidic soil. Last year we used peat moss in our soil mix, but this year we are going peat free. So we are adding this organic soil acidifier to it. We added it last year as well to our potato containers. For this 5-gallon container, we are adding about 1/3 cup of soil acidifier. Root vegetables need more of phosphorus and potassium than nitrogen. So we are adding this organic Joby's plant food. It has an NPK ratio of 2 to 5 to 3. We will add about 1/3 cup of it to our 5-gallon container. Now we are going to mix it all up. Last year also our recipe was similar. The only difference was we had half peat moss and half compost. Everything else was same. This soil mix is ready. Now let us plant some seed potatoes. We are filling the bottom 1/3 of this container first and using our weed puller to mark this side of the container. Here is our seed potato and we will plant it next to a marker. This marker is only there to help us remind which side of the container we planted our first seed potato. Now let us fill this container to 2/3. We will put our second seed potato here on the opposite side from where our marker is and 1/3 way above than our first seed potato. As these varieties are determinate, Keeping them at different level vertically will give them enough grow space away from each other. And we noticed last year that most of the potatoes grow very close to the seed potatoes in a layer. Now that these containers are planted, we will keep them inside our garage for now, because we planted these containers on 26 February and it is still pretty cold outside. Once we see plants popping up, we will move them outside. We will give you an update on the growth of these potatoes, so do subscribe to keep in touch. Share with us in comments if you're planning to grow potatoes this year and what your plan is. If you found value in this video, please do like it and subscribe to help our channel grow.